Welcome to the final year of Driveclub. I say welcome because, well, there's nothing that can be done about it, so I'd rather it not be coming, but, well, it's coming. And it's already here. It was announced late March, like 29th through 31st, something like that. I'm not certain exact date. By PlayStation, itself. I'll try my best to find the link, but either way, it's on GT Planet. And it's been well announced by now, it's probably on a lot of sources, that Driveclub will no longer be sold on the PlayStation Store late this year. That's not the important part, though, because March 31st, 2020 will be when Driveclub servers are shut down. Meaning the entire online, not just what's on screen here, meaning online racing. It's also the challenges and the clubs and even the online specified cars. Yes, folks, we're not just going to be losing the servers, we're going to be losing literal game content with this as well, from what it looks like. We're losing actual cars in less than a year. Unless something's changed, but as of now, it's looking like, yes, even some cars are going to be gone. I think even including the one on screen here. I think if I remember, this Volkswagen Golf is an online car. You get that for being in a club to a certain level. I'll go and coin this here because it's the very end of it. There's also Team Mopar and Team Mopar 2 on Driveclub. There's a limited amount of time to join. Not up to me, but it's tourism right yonder. So if you want to join those teams, do it quick or the opportunity will fade away. Team Mopar 2. Yeah. Driveclub, honestly, it's far from the best simulator, and it's not necessarily an arcade game. It doesn't have any real world tracks, and ultimately its car roster is kind of small, especially when a lot of the better cars are paid DLC. But it's still the most played racing game on the PlayStation 4. That's just a straight up fact. And in my opinion, it's still the best racing game on the PlayStation 4. Honestly, I think the Crew 2 may end up getting there, because later on it's looking like the Crew 2 is going to get a summit. And ultimately that was my main selling point for the Crew 1, but we're not there yet. So for now, Driveclub is, in my opinion, the best racing game on the PlayStation 4. And nonetheless, it was the first PlayStation 4 exclusive racing game, and it's looking like it's going to end before the PlayStation 4 itself ends, meaning not even PlayStation 4 online connectivity, because it hasn't even announced PlayStation 3 online connectivity is ending. I mean, just the PlayStation 4 being the dominant system. The PlayStation 5 at the earliest is probably going to be out November-ish of next year. Driveclub is going to end not even in April. It's going to end March 31st. I could easily make this rant on my second channel, being Rant Taten. I definitely do recommend checking out that channel. Like, subscribe, all the usual things every YouTuber said through the history of time. But another thing every YouTuber said through the history of time is do what you enjoy doing. That's kind of the point of YouTube. It's not considered the quote-unquote normal job people have, but yet people do it anyway because they enjoy it, and quite a lot of people are able to be successful doing it. YouTube in general is a successful platform that's kind of fallen downhill of recent and has had complaints. But it's based around ultimately people doing what they enjoy because they could. And I think that's sort of what happened with Driveclub. Initially, Evolution Studios was really cotton-picking successful with the MotorStorm series, and everyone liked that throughout. But then they quit with MotorStorm, the thing that they knew would work, and went with Driveclub, quite a big risk, that had mixed reviews, and ultimately the company failed because of it. As y'all probably know by now, Evolution Studios doesn't exist anymore. Which means Driveclub and MotorStorm will probably never get made again. But Driveclub is still the most played racing game on a PS4, meaning not sales figures and just total players. again, Evolution Studios failed with the best, most played racing game on the PS4. So I'm not getting into what that means for Polyphony Digital today, but I will say that the developers do what they wanted to do. It's not an arcade game, really. It has actual, like, racetracks and such. But it's also not a simulator because, well, there's not really any real tracks. I mean, just look at how this races went. There's a lot of bassing, crashing, and smashing, but nonetheless, it's been really cotton picking fun. And that's ultimately what counts in the end, I think. Is the game fun? Yes. And still, I believe that Driveclub has the best graphics overall of any console game as well. This may be second best, but this is definitely the best. Meaning, all in all, I think CG Sport does have better car models. Not substantially better, but I think still pretty substantially Driveclub has the best scenery. Obviously, in a racing game, the racing cars are more important than the scenery around the cars, but still, y'all can make your own opinion on what PS4 game has the best graphics in terms of racing type games. But I'll just leave it at this. I know I haven't had as much videos of Driveclub on the channel recently, and honestly, mainly that's just because my controller broke to the point of I can't really use the R2 button with full strength. Like, I can push it down as hard as possible, but it still doesn't register quite at 100% throttle. And when I changed the controls around for GT Sport, given I barely play it anymore, so no big deal. I just haven't bothered to do that yet with Driveclub. But now that I know that Driveclub is ending, I'll probably go back to it. But I also don't have the most time in the world right now. We're just getting to the end of the year in college, so busy with starting to do the end of the year reports and studying for those exams and all that. So ultimately, I would say Driveclub would come more in summer-ish. But this is the final summer of Driveclub, so... Well, that's that, folks. This is the final year of Driveclub, and have fun while you can. Granted, Driveclub has enough of an online bit where it can probably be continued to be played forever. But ultimately, not even kidding, probably 90% of what I do when I play Driveclub in the last about 2 years has been online. It's not necessarily racing against people online, it's just a lot of the online trials, being drift trials, time trials, online races to try to beat someone else's time against AI cars. Whatever it may be, but still. Driveclub may still have an offline, unlike something like GT Sport or the Crew or whatever, but Driveclub was, well, the club. That was the point of it. It was meant to be a club and a social aspect, and it's sad to see it go away. I guarantee you within the next year, do a Team Mopar tribute for Driveclub. It might kind of sort of be a multiple video thing. Because ultimately, Driveclub, that's the point. The club that started being Team Mopar has been incredibly successful. And ultimately, all things considered, I'm probably going to try with it when it's all said and done to get it within the top 100 worldwide for all of the clubs in the game. I haven't checked in a while, honestly, but in general, Mopar has always been on an upward trend in Driveclub. And hopefully by the end I can get it to top 100 in the world. That would just be a nice milestone to end with. There's roughly, I think, about 500,000 clubs compared to about 8 million players. So, top 100 out of about 500,000 is quite impressive. Hopefully I can get Team Mopar there, but the game itself, probably beyond even Team Mopar, will end up getting footage on the channel soon, because sooner than later, Driveclub just won't be there anymore in its full-fledged way. Honestly, look at GT6, a game that's been featured a whole heck of a heap on a channel a while ago. Sort of like Driveclub. After its online ended, I think I've done like a whopping 2 GT6 videos since then. Yes, it still has the offline, but it just simply doesn't have enough appeal to warrant doing continuous videos of it anymore. So enjoy Driveclub while it's here, because I know experience from GT6. What's the thing that's enjoyed a lot, even though there's sort of kind of been better successor from it? In some ways they are, in some ways they aren't. You're still gonna miss the original thing when it's gone. And Driveclub sort of like GT6 to an extent. Because yes, in some aspects GT4 is straight up better. Better physics, better graphics, those are two important things. But GT6 is by far the better game. Look at Driveclub compared to other sort of kind of arcade simcade type racing games later on, like The Crew or something like that. Yeah, some of them are better in different ways, but Driveclub still is just all around the best racing game. I'm sure in the end I'll do a more in-depth video as to why and all that, but for now just enjoy the last year bots here, because there's no need to have nostalgia yet. It's still here, so just take it in while you can. Because, well, I did that with GT6 and I don't regret it at all. I played GT6 probably more in the last year than I did in, say, its third year. I'd have been around for about 5 years-ish. But that worked out well. Driveclub is still an incredible game to this day, and even though Evolution Studios ain't around anymore, the game has still gotten tons of support throughout the years too, and it still has its online for now. So use it while it's here and have fun while it lasts. And for now, that's still over Yeehaw. Driveclub's still here. And while it's worth still it being Yeehaw, get as many Yeehaws out of it as possible. Yeehaw for now, 1 year later, not so much. But for now, Yeehaw.